Welcome to Nolly Recaps. Today I will show you a recap of the movie This Lady Called Life. Watch and enjoy. This is the story of Ayefide. Ayi is a single mom. Having little options at hand, has to plead with her neighbor to watch over her son Joseph while she's away. The neighbor reluctantly agrees, but that didn't last because of Joseph's trouble, which means she has to run her errands with him. Ayi makes the delivery of a mala to her customer but notices the guy's uneasy stare at her. Later on, she runs to the exams venue, wondering where to keep Joseph. The kind receptionist offers to watch Joseph while she writes the exams. As the exams began, her phone rings. She rushed to put it off when she saw her sister's emergency message. Ayi rushed out, abandoning her exams. At the hospital, she learned her mother collapsed. But it's a minor thing, she just needs rest and will be fine. Ayi felt sorry she had to leave her exams for such a minor case. Her father is sorry she has to leave too. She bids them goodbye and leaves. The trek home was long. Joseph is A's world and she takes good care of her son, even through the heat of the night. While Joseph is asleep, she seizes the opportunity to try new recipes, and she's satisfied with her handwork, posting the pictures on her social media page. Ayi is awoken by Joseph's touch and the presence of her father in her room. He's here to plead she comes home to take care of Mummy, but Ayi insists she's not coming. "Daddy, I can't leave my son in business." But her father sobs in regret for not being around when her mother sent her away when she was pregnant. Ayi consoles her father and agrees to come. Mummy's restaurant is in a mess. Ayi quickly tidy up. Joseph walks in hungry. There's tension in the room as Mummy walks in, still in convalescence. Asks her what she's doing in her house and demands she leaves. Daddy steps in and insists she stays, that they need Ayi since nobody is around. He himself is traveling next Tuesday. Ayi is in disbelief. Seeing her mother's dislike for her is still strong. Joseph is alone. Ayi brings pap for her mother only to hear her parents quarreling. Mummy wants Joseph, her grandson, out of the house, while Daddy's voice can be heard insisting they'll both stay. He opens the door in anger and finds eavesdropping. Her mother remains indifferent. Ayi clears the table of a customer as she turns to a familiar voice. Surprised, she greeted the stranger. At first, she didn't recognize him until he reminded her of her delivery at his sister's place. They exchange pleasantries, and he explains that he saw her post about if anyone wants something, he will have to come over here. Surprised, she hadn't thought anyone will come. He's curious as to why she thinks no one would come. She shrugs. Anyways, he introduces himself as Obinna and he's a photographer. "I would like to take a photograph of you in here. That's if you don't mind," he asked. "Okay," she agrees. So, he rushed to pick his camera. Ayi was dazed but seemed to be enjoying herself. She serves the food and Obinna quickly takes a shot of her with the tray. He likes the taste of the food and wonders if she has other plans with her talent. Ayi didn't take the question lightly. She takes offense and begins to rant about how she has tried but life hasn't smiled on her. He apologizes and then makes a phone call. Apparently, he is the official photographer of the amateur chef competition and has a friend that can get her in for the auditioning. And if she wins, she could get to the very culinary school who she couldn't write due to her mother's sickness. Ayi is astonished and happy. She quickly packs up and meets Obinna. They had less than 2 hours to get to the venue, stuck in the traffic. Ayi is grateful, but she's curious as to why Obinna is helping her. Obinna explains that he thinks she is really good and also narrates how he has struggled through life seeing people who believed in him but couldn't help him. Ayi finally joins the queue of a waiting contestant, tensed but patiently awaiting her turn. Introduce yourself, came the voice of the judges. At first, Ayi couldn't utter a word, but with Obinna cheering her on, Ayi overcomes her fears and goes on to amaze the judges with her in-depth knowledge of cutleries and their functions. Ayi was elated about her performance as Obinna showers her with compliments. Obinna tells Ayi she's a very special person and he's happy she's in his life. They shared a friendly hug as he drops her off. The next day, Obinna surprises Ayi with a bottle of wine to celebrate. Ayi tells Obinna the story of her life, how she got pregnant with Joseph and how her mother kicked her out of the house. She had to drop out of school and had nowhere to go to. Her father couldn't help because he was in Port Harcourt at the time and so didn't know about her whereabouts. Her plan was to have her baby and go back to school, but couldn't because it was hard. Very hard with no one to help. Ayi laments that her mother had the same experience as a teenager. She got pregnant with Ayi. Her grandmother kicked her out. Then Mummy married Daddy. Daddy took her as his child and not a stepdaughter. She narrated in tears. Obinna consoles her and managed to make her laugh. Later, they did the dishes together as they discussed their past relationships. Quite comfortable in each other's company, they shared a kiss. Ayi makes it to the second round of the contest. This time it's tougher. The main course was plantain, and out of 8 contestants, only 4 will qualify. Ayi and Obinna are trying a recipe of abachu in Mummy's kitchen. They're talking and laughing as Obinna raps Ayi, fumbling playfully with her neck when Mummy walks in unknown to them. Startled, they stepped aside as Mummy begins to throw insults at Ayi, calling her demeaning and hurtful names. Ayi stayed silent, in disbelief and embarrassed. Obinna has had enough of the insult and turns to face Mummy in defense of Ayi. He told Mummy how awesome Ayi is. She is strong, resilient, and one of the finest persons he has ever met. She has done well raising Joseph with an amazing character, and Obinna doesn't even feel worthy of her. All through, Mummy couldn't utter a word as Obinna kissed Ayi on the forehead and excused himself. Mummy walked away displeased while Ayi smiled, quiet pleased with the turn of event. The next day, Ayi briefed her friend over the phone of how Obinna stood up for her and also shared the good news of scaling the second round of the competition. Ayi is all dressed for an night out with Obinna, then became infuriated upon seeing Ife's, Obinna's ex-girlfriend, post on Obinna's Instagram timeline saying she is looking forward to seeing him tonight. Few minutes later, Obinna sent her a text message saying he would be running late. When Obinna showed up, Ayi accused him of trying to use her and dump her. He tried to explain that he went over to his ex-girlfriend to end things with her. Ayi is more infuriated and doesn't believe him. Obinna insists he loves her and her alone. Ayi tells him that he can't be loved because she has a son and nobody could possibly love her. She ends things with him. Obinna is heartbroken and feels sorry. Joseph littered the place. Ayi's mummy is spanking him when Ayi and her sister, Takei, runs to his rescue, wondering what warranted such beating. Mummy calls Joseph a bad child for littering the room. Ayi takes Joseph along when Mummy in mockery asked her to take her painful child away. Ayi has had enough and turns to address Mummy not to ever lay her hands on her child or call him names again. Mummy and Takei are surprised at Ayi's outburst. Ayi called Mummy a wicked woman not fit to be called a mother. Mummy tried to slap Ayi, but not so fast. Ayi isn't done yet. All my life I have endured. She continued, you made me suffer and made me feel my existence was a mistake. Mummy responded it was indeed a mistake. They both went back and forth relating pains from the past. Ayi asked her mother why she brought her into the world if she didn't want her. In self-defense, Mummy mocked her on the whereabouts of Ire, Joseph's father. At this point, Ayi revealed to Mummy that she was raped by Ire. Mummy was shocked. "All my life I listened to you, Mummy," she continued. "I wanted to be a good child for you to be proud of me for once. You didn't want me to talk to boys, and I didn't. I was raped, and when I came to you, you didn't want to hear me out." At this point, Mummy was sorry and began to cry in regret. "I didn't know," she cried. Ayi is back at her place. She pleads with her neighbor to babysit Joseph while she's away for the grand finale of the competition. Ayi, along with 3 other contestants, prepared and served their delicacies. Ayi was declared the winner for the first run. While the judges taste the second recipes, Ayi receives a call from her sister who informs her their mother is sick. Ayi rushed home to assist in taking Mummy to the hospital. When things were settled, she leaves. On her way out, she met Obinna, who had rushed to see how everyone was doing. "She's a bit stable, but I need to go pick Joseph." Obinna assures her that he would take care of Joseph's well-being. He hugs her and proceeds to the business. 18 months later, it's Say's big day, but she is gloomy. Mummy comes to her and begins to speak of how undeserving she is of Ayi, how wicked she was to her, and to think she was blind and ungrateful to God for giving her such a priceless daughter. Mummy touched her breast and gave Ayi marital blessings from the bottom of her heart. In tears, Ayi says amen to the prayers. The traditional wedding of Ayi and Obinna was a success. Family and friends rejoiced with them. The couple professed their love for each other, promising to stand by each other until death separates them. Obinna also pledges to love and care for Joseph as much as he loves her, and the 3 lived happily ever after. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notification